Welcome back, Pit Stop crew. This is episode 2 of our barbecue review of North Carolina barbecue. Uh, I just want to start off with a little bit of a now funny story that wasn't so funny then, but we've already done this video.
Yep, this is deja vu for us. We recorded this whole video. We actually thought it sounded real good.
Yep.
It came off well, and realized the battery in the remote died, and
Yeah.
no recording happened. So we're gonna try this again. This
Yeah.
is take 2, and we'll see how it goes.
Yep. So take 2. We did Big Tiny's in historic downtown Mooresville, North Carolina. Known as, and I had to look this up and I saw it everywhere, but since this is the second go around, I had to refresh my memory, but doggone good barbecue.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's got a really cool feel when you walk into Big
Right.
Tiny's. You get hit right in the face with that smell of good barbecue and hickory. And a lot of times we've been in there several times, but most of the time when you go in there, they have stacks of pellets that you can buy, hickory pellets, and it's just got a cool feel when you walk in. They have like a drink cooler on the right where you can buy old school bottles and the glass bottle sodas. They have beer, wine, and a few different other beverages.
So I did try to research what it was prior to Big Tiny's because Big Tiny's opened in 2016. And before that, I wasn't exactly sure what was there because all of downtown Mooresville buildings have been repurposed to something else or another. So I was trying to figure out what was there before. So if you know, let us know because during my research, I could not find out. But yes, it had the historic buildings, the original brick buildings that were part of the original setup when they did Main Street. And it was the old meets the new of the modern, which I love that.
So the owner is John Maddox, and he actually grew up in Texas, and he was involved heavily in motorsports. That's kind of how he landed in Mooresville, and that's kind of a common theme for the barbecue joints around this area. A lot of people that are owners now came from the motorsports world. So he came from NASCAR, and one thing we found out is they use hickory wood. That's pretty common up here. Hickory is very plentiful. There's a lot of furniture building going on in this area.
Yeah.
So this is a very common wood used around this area. So that'll be probably most of the places you go, you're going to get hickory because it's just plentiful and available.
Whatever they use for furniture, they put in barbecue.
Yeah.
So you use what you got. So you want to start with the sides?
We can start anywhere you want.
Okay, we're gonna start with the sides. So we did our original, what we're trying to keep consistent. So we did potato salad and baked beans. I'll start with the potato salad. I'll tell you what I like. You like, or
Okay.
you tell me what you like.
No, go for it.
So it was kind of old timey, super creamy, a little bit of relish. It reminded me of classic Southern style potato salad.
Yeah, this one kind of blew me back a little bit because I grew up not liking potato salad growing up, and my great grandma made what everybody called was a really awesome potato salad. And as soon as I tasted this one, I tasted my great grandma's potato salad, which now I love potato salad. So it was just like, it was kind of like a double hit of nostalgia. So I really thought it was great. It was a little bit elevated southern potato salad. But it had, that mix of mayonnaise, mustard, and real good relish. It was just really, really good, and it was kind of cool having that nostalgia built into it for me.
The beans, well, they weren't my cup of tea. They were more of a pinto style beans versus a baked bean. So it kind of traces to the owner's roots with the Tex-Mex kind of feel to it. That they were good, they were flavorful, they're smoky, but just not my favorite.
Yeah, I thought they were really good. It definitely was an homage to his Texas background. It really had that Texas chili taste to him, along with a little bit of sweet for the balance for the barbecue side. I thought they were really good. They were more of a pinto bean than a typical baked bean you're looking for, but I really like that it had that Texas chili flavor to it. A lot of cumin, that just basic Texas chili recipe that you would find with all
That
this
back
like chili
heat to it.
powder. They were a little spicy, but not bad. I thought they were really good.
So that kicks off with the trio of meats we always try out. So we'll start with the ribs. To me, super tender, but a little bland. You had good smoke to it, but not that flavor without the sauce.
Yeah, I think their ribs were cooked perfect. And one thing I like to talk about is it's a big controversy in ribs. Do you take the membrane off? Do you leave the membrane on? The first two places we've eaten at, they leave the membrane on the ribs, and to me, um, either way, you can make a good rib, but they leave the membrane on. I thought the ribs were cooked to perfection. Couldn't have asked for either if you were competition or if you're just eating it. It was that perfect, like you can take a bite of the rib, but then it just kind of comes off the bone easily. It doesn't fall off the bone, but it comes off the bone easily, and you can eat the whole rib. You got nothing left but a bone in the end. I was with her. I thought it was kind of a little bit bland. You really couldn't get the dry rub through it. Which is fine. But once you added that sweet and spicy sauce that they had, barbecue sauce, it was really good. And the heat on the sauce kind of sneaks up on you a little bit. It's got a back end heat. But I thought that paired really well together. I think if they would have finished the ribs in that sauce, they would have been like really, really good. But they were just your average run of the mill rib. I didn't get a lot of dry rub from them. They didn't put a wet sauce on at the end, so I was expecting the dry rub to have a little more flavor, but it did not.
Yeah, so out of the ribs wise, they weren't my favorite, but the brisket is actually what this place is known for. And funny thing is, that was not the winner to me, but we'll talk about that later. The brisket to me was super nice, juicy, tender, had a good level of smoke, but again, with the rub, there wasn't a lot of flavor coming out of the rub.
Yeah, being from Texas, I was expecting that, that pepper to shine on a brisket like it always does, but I didn't get much of the pepper. I didn't get much of a dry rub at all. I mean, the brisket was cooked pretty much to perfection. We had a mix of the fatty and the lean, and both were good. Both were juicy. The fatty, of course, was more juicy, as it should be. But it just wasn't quite the flavor just wasn't quite there from the rub, and that was what I was looking for. And we put a couple of the sauces on there, which complemented it pretty well. We did the spicy like we did on the sweet and spicy like we did on the ribs, and then they have a regular barbecue sauce that we tried. But just I was expecting a little more from a person from Texas. And granted, they could have been
Yeah,
having a
could have been a
bad
bad
day,
brisket day.
but when they cut it, it was nice and warm. You could tell it was rested perfectly. It was probably a 140 when they cut it. Brought it out on the tray, and it was really really well cooked. It just didn't have that above and beyond flavor.
Well, the one that blew me away was the pulled pork. And it's funny because we have a friend of ours that says that, they're not normally known for pulled pork, but I told him that their pulled pork blew me away. He was extremely surprised. To me, it was super tender. It was chopped just right. It had so much good smoky flavor and good just flavor on its own. You didn't really need any extra sauce.
Yeah, the pulled pork was just lights out. It
Yeah.
was cooked perfect. The seasoning on it was really, really good. And then they had the Lexington and the vinegar-based sauce you could kind of mix on them. We did a mix of the both in two different piles and kind of tried them after we had eaten it without sauce. And so far, this is definitely the best pulled pork. And you're thinking about Carolina barbecue. That's what you're really looking for. You're looking for pulled pork. So I really thought that their pulled pork was just top notch. And it's probably going to stand out for a while until the next one
Agreed.
really blows
Absolutely.
me blows me out of the water. But this one was definitely top notch pulled pork. Super impressive. Came out really warm. Everything on the tray came out like they had just pulled it or cut it. It was fresh.
And the
Like
sizes, the portion sizes are huge.
yeah, it was a huge
Gave you plenty
huge
of food.
huge, beautiful tray,
Yeah.
as you'll see here in the video. And uh, the pulled pork did not disappoint, and that's really what we're looking to highlight is for Carolina barbecue.
Yeah.
But we do want to talk about everything and overall for these restaurants.
The one we try to add, of course, is the kids' options. Um, This one did not have that many kids options. Of course, barbecue, we try to incorporate what the kids like. They had the chicken tenders, a hot dog, and the pulled pork sliders. Our daughter went with the hot dog and the french fries, which, they were good, but they were basic. And there's not much you can say about a kids menu, but it will go over well with the kids out there. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, she liked the fries, which,
Yeah.
that's always a good thing when the kids like the fries. So she was definitely like that. So it's a good place to take your kids, especially if you've got kids that eat barbecue. Our daughter's kind of hit or miss. She'll eat it sometimes,
Oh,
sometimes
yeah.
she won't. But as long as they got good French fries and either a hamburger or a hot dog, then she's pretty well set.
My favorite sauce out of the four offerings they had um, was their basic sauce to me.
Yeah, I
It,
like the original barbecue
yeah,
sauce.
their
It was
their
real nice.
signature sauce was my favorite. It was tomato based, and it was just well balanced to me. But that's something new I wanted to start to call out in our videos. But overall, the big question is, will we go back?
Absolutely. We eat there quite a bit.
Yes, we do.
We live pretty close to the restaurant, so we're always dropping in and out of there. We've never had a bad meal there. I think their brisket there has been better at times than it was this time. Maybe it was just a bad cook day, but definitely if you're in Mooresville, this is probably top place to go eat barbecue. We will review a couple of the
Yeah.
other Mooresville places as we go down the road. But this probably sticks out as the number one place in Mooresville to me to go eat barbecue. So if you're in Mooresville, check it out. Big
Yeah.
Tiny's. Awesome. Thanks,
So
guys.
thank you. Now that was some seriously good barbecue, y'all. Y'all need to try it out and let us know what you think. So let's talk about downtown real quick before we end this video. It has become one of our favorite little small downtowns. It's not a huge footprint, but it's enough to make an impact. You walk around and find all these cute shops and little boutiques and restaurants and dive bars, and they have distillery and breweries down there. What else do you need? But honestly, I love how they've taken all these older buildings that have slowly been forgotten, are not taken care of, converted it back to something brand new, and just brought it purpose again. One of the favorite buildings of mine downtown is the old train depot. They've converted into an art museum that does classes and galleries throughout the year. Beautiful. Mooresville Art Museum. You got to check it out. You also see a lot of cool murals and vintage signs through downtown. Some of them being the ghost murals with the old faded signs. You'll see about two or three impressions of different ads on the sides of the buildings. Very cool how they did that. As well as calling out some hometown heroes, one of which is Tom Marshburn, the NASA astronaut. It's beautiful. It's all along the CVS building there. In As you walk in front of several of the other buildings, you'll notice all these little racing wall of walk of fame little areas calling out all these specific race car drivers. They are so cool. But what I'm really saying is you need to check it out. This place dates back to the 1850s and has been living strong since then. Well, as always, thank you so much for watching. Really, really appreciate you guys taking the time to see what we think, even whether you agree or not. I hope you let us know your thoughts, but give us some like, give us some love, and we'll check you out next time. Bye, y'all.